The post-match of this Danielson-Moxley match, Mox puts a promo just completely putting Regal over. Hard, okay? And basically talking about not giving a fuck about anyone's advice except Regal, and how, he's fought to get where he is, et cetera, et cetera. And then Mox says that he and Bryan Danielson are forged in combat. This is a very, very Moxley promo. He offers an invitation to anyone who has the guts to stand toe to toe with them, and that if someone wants to hang with them, they'll have to dig deep inside to that place that loves pain. This is the most Mox fucking promo I've ever heard in my life. Mox calls himself, Bryan Danielson, and Regal the Blackpool Combat Club. Another fucking Moxley thing. That's fucking weird. I'm not gonna lie. And then, but then they act like heels, but they're like way too over. You know what I'm saying? So like, like the old I don't want to say adage because that doesn't really make sense, but like the old kind of thing is, if you're a bad guy, this is how Stone Cold and The Rock and all those guys were. If you're a bad guy, but you get too over, are you a bad guy anymore? Or are you or did the crowd just turn you babyface whether you want to or not? And I have feelings about that, but traditionally people would say, well, no, you're a babyface then, right? I don't think in this day and age that necessarily is true. However, these guys are such fucking tweeners right now. I have no idea where the fuck they align. Um, but what do you think about this fucking Blackpool Combat Club?
I am with you that I don't really love the name. It seems. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like it. I think.
Like a
However,
Quentin Tarantino martial arts movie? Yeah, yeah, totally.
the shirts are cool though. I do like the shirts. And that promo, like you said, very Mox promo. I actually didn't love it. It felt a little
I'm
forced in
with you.
some parts, and maybe a little bit too brooding and angsty in others. I really wish they would have just handed the mic to Regal and let him cut the whole thing. To be honest, and don't get me wrong, I like
100%.
Moxie. I generally like his promos and his shoots. I think are decent too. But that one just it really fell flat for me. It really fell flat for me, and it just felt a little bit too performative and not really natural. And maybe that's because of how over they are, right? Maybe it just didn't work for what they're trying to go for with me. Uh, like this whole kind of almost anti-hero vibe, but they're still so over. Like, what are you gonna do? You
But
can't.
if they're tweeners and if they eventually go against the Jericho Appreciation Society, which those names are equals in and of themselves, I feel like.
Yeah, but
Um,
one's hokey and a joke though. That's the thing. Like Blackpool
yeah,
Combat Club is supposed to be like just tough and hardcore, and it's just kind of corny.
yeah. So this I've never ever seen Moxley deliver a promo that was this exemplary of what I don't like about Jon Moxley. Because there are times where that fucking guy, like when he told that one dude, like, go fuck yourself, like that one, and he was talking about, being away and getting better and fighting demons. That felt performative to me, but I was pretty in on it, dude. I was like, okay, this is a good promo, Mox. But when he does shit like this is the exact thing, the performative nature of it. It
I
doesn't
think.
feel believable.
Yeah, there you
Not
go.
that wrestling has to be believable, but I want to some extent a promo needs to do one of two things for me. I've told you this before. And I either needed to believe it in some way, feel something about it, or it has to tell a story really well where at least I can see the components of that and be like, fuck, that's cool, right? And I've kind of put different wrestlers in different categories. Some people don't have the gift of gab as much as an MJF, of course. No one does, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Or like a Regal or a Kingston or any of these guys. But they can tell fucking great stories on the mic, even if they can't deliver them as well as some of these other guys. And so I kind of give both their merits. But Mox is like, dude, what was this? You know what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying?
It just didn't work for me. And I think for clarification purposes, for anybody out there listening in podcast land, when we say performative, we very much mean forced and kind of doing the thing rather than it feeling natural, right? It feels like too much into what they're trying to accomplish, right? It has kind of this weird vibe. Just make sure because all of wrestling is performative in some way. I wanted to make sure that
Yeah. Yeah, I often liken it to movies. You have your Daniel Day-Lewis's that completely go invisible into a role and they become someone else, right? And that's your kind of stay true. That's like it makes it feel like a shoot, right? And then you have your, I mean, fucking name someone. Nick Cage. You might love Nick Cage, and he has really cool movies, but very rarely, if ever, is that guy like believable, right? It's performative,
yep.
and people love it. I love a lot of his movies. I'm not saying anything bad. Performative doesn't have to equal bad,
Yep.
but in this case, it does.
Yeah. In this
So
particular case, we're using it as a pejorative.
yeah, yeah. Whereas I think you put someone over last week for being performative in a positive way. I don't
Yeah.
remember
Well,
who,
I
but
think MJF is performative in most ways, and but it's that first one that you kind of talked about. Like he feels like he's that ass, right?
yeah.
Like,
Oh, he just stop on that line. I like that. He feels like this ass. Or I don't remember how you worded it, but it was good. Anyways,